Next topic is derivation of Lagrange equation from Hamilton's principle, and Hamilton's principle can be given as line integral from time t1 to time t2 delta L, where L is the Lagrangian function, into dt equals to 0 and L equals to q dot j and time t. But suppose here Lagrangian function is time independent, then it can be given as L equals to qj and q dot j, where delta L can be defined as partial L or partial q dot j delta q dot j plus partial L or partial qj del qj. Equation, say equation 1 and equation 2. Now put equation 2 in equation 1. We have time t1 to t2 partial L over partial q dot j del q dot j by separating dt plus time t1 to t2 partial L partial qj del qj dt equals to 0. Say equation 3. Now from equation 3 we have time t1 t2 partial L partial q dot j into del q dot j into dt equals to t1 to t2 partial L partial q dot j into d over dt qj into dt. From here t1 to t2 partial L partial q dot j, by changing operator we have d over dt del qj into dt. By integration by parts we have first function and this one is the second function. So first function as it is, integration of the second, which is t1 to t2, minus integration of second and derivative of first, which is d over dt partial L partial q dot j into this dt. Here as qj are fixed at any points t1 and t2, so del qj at time t2 equal to 0 and del qj at any time t1 equals to 0, as we have discussed in our previous video. So by putting these values, this term will be vanished and here we will have only minus t1 to t2 qj d over dt partial L partial q dot into dt, and say equation 4. Put equation 4 in equation 3. We have t1 to t2. Write this term first. We have partial L partial qj del qj into dt minus this term t1 to t2 d over dt partial L partial qj, this term which is del qj and this dt equals to 0. By taking common we have partial L over partial qj minus d over dt partial L partial qj del qj into dt equals to 0, and here is line integral t1 to t2. As delta qj is time independent and independent variables also arbitrary variables, so to satisfy this equation, partial L or partial qj minus d over dt or partial L or partial q dot j must be equals to 0, which is Lagrange's equation.